I used to live in Southern California, and when we had very little money, one of my favorite things to do with the kids is I would take them for a day trip to Mexico, one at a time. And because you could go and it was an adventure. You go down with $50, you could eat lunch, you could get a couple of knickknacks and drive back up. Super cool, right? So it's his first time down, and he is pinned on 10. He's fucking, so excited, to be there, right? And we get there, and he turns to me. We're there for about half an hour, and he goes, Dad, I love Mexico. Everybody here is so smart. And I was like, I said, well, what makes you say that, man? He goes, they all know how to speak Spanish. And I was like, oh, my God. I was like, all right, come here, you dumb motherfucker. All right. You're going to live with me till you're 40, aren't you, buddy? All right, okay. So we were there for like another hour, and he decided he could speak Spanish. Because to him, it sounded like this. And I look at him, I go, hey, man. I said, do not speak the Spanish. And he goes, no, I know how to speak it. I go, no, you don't. We go to a restaurant. Waiter drops 2 menus. And he looks at me and he goes, what can I get you? And I said, I would love Modelo, please. And he said, absolutely. And he looks at my son. And in English, everybody, he says to my son, what can I get for you, young sir? And my son's looking at the menu and he goes, the waiter's being polite, so he goes, excuse me? And my son louder goes, like the waiter was the fucking dummy, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't hear me? Right? And he goes, Mexican Coke. And the guy walks away, and I was like, Jacob. I go, what did I tell you, man? I said, do not speak the Spanish. And he goes, I know how to speak it. I go, no, you don't. And he looks at me, and he goes, he took my order. So I said, I don't give a shit what he did. I don't know if you know this, and I know you don't, but you're insulting their culture and their heritage and their history and their language all at once. I know you don't mean to, man, but you are. So I'm going to tell you right now, under no circumstance are you to speak the Spanish. Do you understand me? And he goes, yes, Dad. And we eat our lunch. But he's still sulking. Anybody who has kids knows you reprimand them one time, they're done for the day, you know? So he's sulking. He's like, I just want to go home. I go, okay. So he goes, can I sleep in the back seat on the ride home? I go, yeah. And we get up to the border, and the Border Patrol guy goes to me, he said, you got an ID? And I said, yeah. And he grabs it, and he goes, you got a birth certificate for the kid? I said, no. I said, why do I need a birth certificate for my kid? And he goes, well, I got to make sure every child that leaves Mexico isn't Mexican. How do I know he's not Mexican? And I was like, so I said, Jacob, speak the Spanish. My man popped his head up from the back seat like this. The guy just looks at him and he looks at me and he was like, have a great day. We're driving out of Mexico for like 15 minutes, and he hasn't said a word, but the window's down, you know what I mean? The window's down, and I just hear him mumble under his breath. I told you I knew how to speak Spanish.